And we're off. It is a 9 a.m. 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And it is Friday the 30th of November, AD 2025. And I will be taking your calls. The lines are already filling up. We're going to have a loosey-goosey The Hake Report show, everyone. And I will be reading your super chats. I did see some of those came in. So, you know what? I wanted to do something a little bit different. Just because I'm hemming and hawing while I'm preparing for, getting the show going. And it never works because I get distracted. So here's a little song for you while I'm getting prepared. I don't know. We'll see if this works. Huh. Oh, it didn't even start right. Here we go. There we go. AI Hake song from Jake Husdon. The Hake Report song. Oh, yeah. So good.
Monday to Friday, he's on the air. Hake's reporting news with that bold stare. From the JLP network, he's holding strong. Debates and callers, yeah, he's never wrong. Interviewing legends
never
from
wrong.
far and near. Mexico to Iowa, you'll always hear. Destiny and Vosh, they step to the mic. But Hake holds his ground in every fight. It's the Hake Report. Yeah, he's live every day.
Live every day.
Take your calls for what you gotta say. From Richard Spencer to Steve King's views. Tune in now for the Hake News.
Shout out.
Those naked chats to callers across the sea. Hake keeps it real, let the truth run free.
That's right.
Reducing church with JLP. Bon Ackermelanie, building strong, you'll see.
What?
He's out there debating, no fear in his eyes. Breaking down the lies, calling out the disguise. From the kill stream
Oh, yeah.
to Dylan's table.
Man.
Hake stands firm, he's always able. The
Hake Report.
Yeah, he's live every day. Take your calls, hear what you gotta say. From Richard Spencer to Steve King's views.
Shout out.
Tune in now for the Hake News.
Oh, no. Oh, it's the guitar. I hate guitar solos. Unless they're really well done.
Thank the supporters, the live chat crew.
Shout out.
Super chats rolling, keeping it true. Comment, subscribe, every call, every share. The Hake Report's taking it everywhere.
Jake Husdon. AI.
So call in live, hear what's in store.
Song.
With Hake on the mic, you're always one more. It's a family show, no gossip or hate.
That's right.
Just truth and news every weekday.
Every day.
It's the Hake Report.
9 a.m.
Live every day.
Pacific.
Take your calls, hear what you gotta say. From Richard Spencer to Steve King's views. Tune in now for the Hake News.
What's up, Age of Inversion? Dustin, Cross, Commander Kim. Silly AI music. Indeed. So true. Well, we made it. I think I'm pretty well set up. Not AI Hake song, says you guys. Nice. That wasn't too bad, was it? I don't know. It's whatever. It's okay. Is it coming back? Is it still going?
Steve King's views.
False ending.
Tune in now for the Hake News.
Wow, that was so 90s. There's been others who did the fake endings. I forget who. I know that I feel like Elvis Presley did a fake ending and others. But thank you kindly, man. What's your name? I actually do have stuff to cover. The lines are filling up. One line open. So Anyway, guys, I suppose we can just get right on with the show.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys! I hope you're not sick of music after listening to one whole song, and then you have another, the AJ Gallardo original, not AI, real intelligence theme song. So good. One line open, 888-77-JESSE.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, I'm drooling. How y'all doing? I am fine, and I have my Yankees shirt on because I'm a huge Yankees, right? Fan. Which I'm not, actually. I just wore it because it's a racist guy's T-shirt. Because I like racists. Because I like everybody, okay? I like the underdog. And right now, the white man, the racist white man, is the underdog. But I like the overdog, too. Shout out. I miss the JLP version of this song, sung every day. The Hake Report, la la la. What kind of lyrics is that? Indeed. Okay, let me get to a few calls here, everybody. First, let me start out with CJ in Tejas, Texas, who's on the line over here. CJ, how you doing, man? Thanks for calling.
I don't live in Texas anymore. How are you doing?
I mean Washington. Yeah. I'm just used to CJ in Texas. Wow, old habits die hard.
Yeah, but you remember way back when I was CJ in California, right?
No, I don't remember that, actually. Maybe vaguely.
No, that was like way back when I was calling in about Paul and stuff.
Okay. Paul Denier CJ was when you were in Cali. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Getting told that I'm somebody that changes my name and stuff. I just want to set the record straight. I've been listening to the Hake Report since episode 1.
Awesome, man. Really? So did you catch it live?
Oh yeah.
When
Yeah.
Joel and and Esteban were echoing?
Yep. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was like back when like Jesse Lee Peterson had the Halls of Montezuma, the Marine song playing as his song, and he was trying to get everybody onto Newsmax right before they canceled him.
Right. That's funny, man.
Yeah, and I got every single one of Jesse's books autographed and sent to me on one of my birthdays. It was great.
That's cool.
But so I was doing some more research into Chauvin last night because I was thinking about it, and like first off, if you think that getting Derek Chauvin a federal pardon means that he's going to go to state prison and die a brutal, violent, painful death, you are smart. If you think federally pardoning Derek Chauvin means he's going to walk free and have a better life, you will have stupid in the rearview mirror. You have left it so far behind you.
Wow.
Like, you're beyond stupid. Like that's just a fact. Now, so Derek Chauvin got convicted of second and third degree murder in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If you can't understand how he could be convicted of murder, if the coroner's report said this, you should start. You could maybe understand it better if you actually read the statutes that he was convicted of.
Yeah.
That might be a good place to start.
In the commission of if somebody dies in the commission of a crime, it's considered a murder, right? Is that how they got it? Something like that? Maybe.
No, well, in California, it's true if you're committing a felony.
Yeah.
That's not true if you're committing a misdemeanor.
Oh, okay.
But third degree murder in in Minnesota doesn't even require an intent to kill somebody.
Right.
Like,
was it third degree that they got him on? Third degree murder in Minnesota?
third and second.
Third and
Second is like when somebody dies while you're committing aggravated assault.
Okay.
And it's like aggravated assault if you're assaulting them while you are also using handcuffs. However, so the feds will prosecute people the way that they did with Derek Chauvin. They usually do that when the state fails to get a conviction, right? Or fails to even prosecute.
Yeah.
Then the feds come in and say, like, okay, well, we're going to do something of the last resort, and we're going to sue you for deprivation of civil rights. That's usually the way that happens. So the feds who have come in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I shake my head. You know, the feds getting involved. I don't think it's usually ever a good thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's very odd what happened here because they did secure 2 murder convictions on him in state court.
So they're just piling on.
So, well, no, they didn't pile on anything. Then the feds came in and prosecuted him again, right? And he just agreed to everything in there.
Yeah.
Like, because, okay, and so he got sentenced federally to almost the identical time frame that he got sentenced to in state court.
Okay.
Minus like 6 months or something. So all that happened, he got punished not one bit by his federal prosecution. He's not suffering in any way from that federal prosecution. Not a bit.
Just on paper, he has those convictions. But,
yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, it says here that you have second and third degree murder, but we're not going to hire you because you have the civil rights violation case over here. Like, who cares, dude?
Right.
Like, no one cares. So what I think happened was, I think the Fed saw that was what was going down. They kind of have no power to intervene in the state processes. And they normally don't do this when you do get convictions in state court. Then they came in and they just offered him a plea bargain that he said yes to everything. And the only thing that happened was he got removed out of the state. So he's not going to serve his time in state prison.
Yeah.
Which is by far a bigger hellhole than a federal prison. By far.
Is that the case in every single state there is? Or just a dirty state like Minnesota?
Every state.
Okay.
Maybe Alaska. I don't know.
Thank you. I knew there was got to be some state that's good.
Maybe. I would say probably not. You don't want to spend all your time with Inuits in prison. Yeah. So what I think happened is that the feds actually were trying to protect Derek Chauvin. And they came in and prosecuted him, gave him almost an identical sentence. And part of his plea agreement was, you're going to do this time in federal prison.
Oh, interesting.
I'm pretty sure that his federal conviction was just an effort to save his life and give him a chance after doing 20 years to be able to, have a life again at some point. Because Minnesota doesn't really have time off for good behavior. You can get out on certain types of paroles and supervised release and stuff, but it's not like California where you only do half the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You do all the time.
I thought that was the case everywhere, just because I'm so used to California, I guess. I figure, you get 35 years, you're going to end up serving 16 or 17 or something like that. But,
yeah, it's amazing what you can find out if you bother to even look.
Yeah. Which most of us don't. That's interesting, man.
Yeah. And also, I've been accused of having problem with people praying. Let's just also be clear. You asked me if I prayed for Derek Chauvin. I said no. That was the end of me talking about anybody praying.
Yeah.
I never mentioned.
You just said you don't really pray for people. And that's definitely understandable. I think that's kind of normal, actually.
If you pray for somebody, do you pray for people, James?
On occasion that I think of them, I imagine that I'm praying for them. but I don't know if I'm actually praying for them. I think, you know what I mean? I'm like, I like have a good feeling towards them and wish them well, you know? Like, so I don't know if it's actually praying for them. Because what is prayer? It's not really defined except, you know, the Lord's Prayer of thy will be done. So.
All I know is if I had been praying every day for Derek Chauvin to be a free and happy man, at this point I would think, well, maybe God finds me annoying because he's obviously not listening to me.
Well, when I pray for Derek, because I have urged people to pray for Derek Chauvin. When I say that,
Yeah.
I often will say, "Chin up, King," because what's best for him is to bear up under what he's got to go through and get better, not bitter for it. You know, that's the best.
Yes, that's true. But how is that praying for him?
I don't know.
Like when
I don't know.
you encourage people to pray for him, what are you? You don't know. All right.
And so, like when
to me, it's kind of like doing the rain dance that the Native Americans did. It's like, well, how do you do the rain dance effectively? You do it every day until it rains.
And you are a Christian, right? You're a Christian, right? I think you are. Last time we talked about this, you're like, yeah.
I mean, whatever you can call somebody that thinks that 2/3 of the New Testament was written by the Antichrist, I'm that kind of a Christian.
Right, but that would mean that you're pro-Christ, just because you think that somebody else is Antichrist. You're not for the Antichrist. You're like
my entire religious view is only the red words of Jesus in the quotes. That's it. Everything else can just be tossed. Like, Jesus was confident to give his ministry. He gave it. He said what he said. I don't need anybody else's comments. Not Paul's, not John's, not Luke's, nobody's.
Interesting.
Yeah, so to me, when people say, oh, I'm going to pray, right? Like, if power of prayer worked, grandmas wouldn't die of cancer, right? Because they got a whole army of grandkids praying for them.
Right.
Right, and then they die.
Yeah. That's vain prayers. That's not according to God's will. I say.
So to me, it's like doing the rain dance, right? Like the Native Americans, oh, we're going to do the rain dance. Yeah, how do you do that? Well, how does it work? Well, you just do it every day until it rains. Like, whoa, okay. Like, well, it's bound to rain, right? And then, oh, it worked. Yeah, well, you do something until the inevitable happens. It's going to happen. But, you can pray for Derek Chauvin to get released, and in 17 more years, your prayers are going to come true. Yeah, it worked.
That has never been my prayer for Derek Chauvin. I mean, I would love for him to be released, but that's, you don't, like, look at the world. You're not supposed to be expecting your idea of justice in the world. For example, Trump made a great point. But to add on to my point, Trump made a great point that maybe it was actually a good thing that he lost in 2020, so that he could be here today. So anyway. Go ahead.
No, I totally agree. I think it was good to have Biden in there for those 4 years, because I think it's better to have Trump right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm very glad that I do not have to share this world with George Floyd anymore.
Yeah.
I think George Floyd should have been executed for his previous crimes a long time ago. As soon as he put that gun up against that pregnant woman's belly and robbed her and then pistol whipped her in the head with it. No, seriously, I think he should have been. He should have lost his life. There's no reason to keep animals in society. That guy's never going to. After you get to that point, you're never going to be a good person. It's just it's not in your cards anymore.
That's interesting. You know, it's one of the things my dad told me one time after my mother said about somebody. They were talking about somebody. My mother's like, he's getting better. About somebody, right? And it's just like a woman to say, oh, he's getting better. And then my dad looked at me, he's like, people don't change much. And I think my dad's right. You cross a line and you're as bad as the line that you've crossed, and because it's so easy to cross that line, continue crossing that line. And I'm talking about any line, sex out of wedlock, all these different, pornography, pot, granted, some people are going to cross the line and then not cross that line anymore, but there's all kinds, people get worse throughout their life, not better. So
Yeah, the clear line that, I think was violated where there's no coming back from is being born black.
I disavow this. Of course. Shout out to the blacks.
I got one more thing. I got one more thing before I take off here. CJ, not Mark, clearly offered James Hake, also not Mark, also not Bond, $150 to platform a debate. When someone says, "Oh, take his money," I say you should take his money, and I won't take any of it. It all goes to Bond. Okay. I just want to walk through this logic. I offered James Hake $150. I offered Mark $0. James Hake offered Mark $0. So when Mark says, "I'm not going to take any of the money, it can all go to Bond," what Mark is saying is, I'm going to take all of the $0 I was offered, and I'm going to donate the entirety of $0 and nothing to Bond's church. Aren't I a great guy? That's great, Mark. If you had taken the money that wasn't yours and wasn't offered to you, that would be called theft. And now you're trying to take my generosity to Hake and turn that into your generosity to Bond Church? Anyway.
He means well.
You know what? I think I'm deciding that I don't really want to debate Joe Biden after all.
Nice.
It's kind of like punching a 2-year-old in the face.
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah. I think it's early onset dementia. He can't keep.
I don't think that, man. That's great. I don't know, man.
You can't keep thoughts straight, dude.
Well, people don't necessarily listen closely.
Offering James Hake money? How do you turn me offering James Hake money into you donating to Bond Church? How did that happen inside your? You got to have some broken mechanisms in there.
I don't know. I didn't really catch.
But anyway,
catch it. All right. Anyway, thank you, CJ in Tejas.
Yep.
Washington.
If you absolutely hate Derek Chauvin, keep trying to get him federally pardoned. That's the way to get him brutally killed. That's the way.
That's an interesting point, man. That's crazy.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye. Is one line open, everyone? One line open. I would like to get to Josh in Georgia, who's on the line over here. Josh, thank you for calling and holding, man.
Hey. Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I wanted to just kind of respond to the whole black fatigue thing, and was it Alex from California who posed the question? What does or is that still going on, or was that 2 weeks ago?
Alex in California is probably been like a month, a little bit more than a month actually. He did ask what would happen if all the whites left.
Yeah, I can respond to that. That's the same thing as kind of the black fatigue thing, but I think it's at this point it's obvious that black Americans' only friend is the white man, and it's kind of like a male and female relationship, there's like the notion that the media is trying to push black people versus white people, but it's really it's like a wife who hates her husband, but she needs her husband. Like the black people are the wife, white people are the husband, and she needs it, but she hates him, and she's constantly saying he's oppressing her, but the husband, pays all the bills and takes care of her, and he needs her,
And the husband, husband will say, "You never had it so good."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she didn't. Blacks never had it so good as they have it in America.
Yeah.
Physically
we won
speaking.
the lottery.
Yeah.
We won the lottery by being slavery was the best thing to ever happen to black Americans, because without it, we would be in Africa. We'd be slaves in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we won the lottery by being born in America. And it's like, you remember when with the Ronnie and Mark call, I mean, they had the debate or whatever. That was that was really interesting to me because it's like, you shouldn't, like, I'd say I agree with Mark on everything. I haven't ever heard Mark say something I really disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
His only issue is that he's angry about it.
Yeah.
And so it looks like, to the brainwashed people, it looks like I think he lost. It's like he lost that debate with Ronnie because Ronnie was calm and he was cool and calm about it, and he wasn't angry. Well, at least he didn't show it. He probably is, but he pushed it down. And it's like Ronnie was arguing that 2 + 2 = 5, but he was doing it in a cool, calm way.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's the big thing. That I don't even think the black fatigue thing is like y'all shouldn't even argue with that because it just makes you look. You're trying to argue the obvious with a brainwashed person, you know.
That's true. Yeah, there's no argument really.
Yeah, there isn't, and it's a temptation to make you angry. That's all it is,
mm-hmm.
and that's how you lose. And but it's kind of like, I have that same anger in me that Mark has. I just push it down, and it comes out.
Yeah.
You know, like with vices and stuff. So I don't know if I'm not saying I'm any better.
Right.
It's probably more honest to just let it out, like Mark. That's why I think we all enjoy the Mark calls so much because he seemed kind of honest that he's letting it, and he does admit. He admits when he's wrong. He said, "I'm sorry, I flew off the handle there."
Yeah. And
I think you would you say you push your anger down too? Because I've never seen you angry too. But you probably.
As a kid, I was never allowed to fight or cuss or yell or
me too,
stuff like that. So definitely, it's like a much more like contained.
Yeah, but that's just as unhealthy. That's probably more unhealthy.
Right.
Because you think you're better than somebody who doesn't push it down.
I think Mark is just turn you fake.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark. Yeah, it is right on, man.
But you know, and another thing, real quick, I don't know if you see with that call with CJ just now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what right wing and left wing is anymore. You know, it's probably all like, okay, so now is who's further right, Mark or CJ? You know, CJ is making some good points. You know, he sounded like a liberal because like he's defending George Floyd, or it sounded like he's against
Derek Chauvin.
Derek Chauvin, but he's not.
Right.
Because he's really not.
That's true.
So is he pro-white or is he anti-white? Or, you know, it's all just a big, like, to have a debate, nothing's going to come of it, you know?
Right.
And it's just an ego
it really
thrill.
is.
It's just a thrill, right?
You notice when the so-called alt-right got scattered, they got struck and scattered after Charlottesville. I don't know if you remember Charlottesville.
I do remember. Yep, I remember. I remember the guy that was on your show. He came on your show. He's like, I forgot his name.
Richard Spencer.
Richard Spencer. Yeah. Well, I don't even know where he stands. He's like left wing now almost, or he's like a Trump hater.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know with him. He's kind of like a CJ in that he's into details and specific things and philosophy and all those people wanted to unite the right. They wanted to unite, but when it comes down to it, and when they lose, losers end up fighting each other, and they lost. They got persecuted, and they fought each other, and they hate each other. They call each other all kinds of names, and sometimes they're right about each other in their criticisms of each other because they don't really have love. They're not necessarily right. They have all kinds of serious disagreements to where they cannot unite, even though they both agree with white and they both kind of agree with right on a lot of stuff. But there's stuff that the ego and
Right.
and the looking down on is
Yeah.
you can't overcome
Judging. Right. Yep. Yeah, man. So it's like you think black and white is the big fight, but it's white and I don't know.
that.
It's
It's self.
yeah, it's yourself.
Yep. You identify with
Yeah.
self, you're gonna hate everybody, including
Wow.
yourself.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you were talking about distractions earlier. I can't even it's different calling you than just being in the chat. You
Right.
know? It's like a different I'm more focused on the conversation. Like when I'm in the chat, I can't do both. I can't
me
I
neither.
can't hear. Yeah. But it seems like you do it, James. It seems like you're reading, you're taking calls and reading the chat, and like that's I don't know. You got a higher IQ than me, so it's like I don't see how you do that.
Well, I do try to. I notice that if I do look at chat or if I do try to do something else, like when I was talking to you, when I first got to your call, I'm like, oh, I got to set up the fallen state because I haven't told these guys how to set up the fallen state new
Right.
things. And I'm like, you know what? I better pay attention to this phone call because otherwise I'm gonna miss the whole phone call trying to set up the fallen state. And when I'm talking on my show, I'll talk for about 15 minutes and hem and haw because
Right.
I'm trying to set up the thing. Whereas I was able to play the song and I was ready pretty much in 5 minutes because I didn't really have to talk. I just kind of reacted to the song while doing my thing. So like there's
Wow.
definitely distractions that come on and you miss a lot. It's that's why I really admire and respect JLP because he listens and he
He's
catches
good at
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Right. He's really. You can be low IQ and but be really be like street smart because you're slow. I mean, you can be slow, but like good at focusing on one thing.
Yeah. I bet you that if JLP took a class that he was interested in, he would do very well in it because he knows how to pay attention, And,
on one thing, focus on one thing at a time. I can't,
my friend, a couple of friends and I and a friend and I were really good at just pay attention in class, and you're fine. You do fine. I think that's what the problem is. There may be some genetic or whatever, I don't know, genes. I don't understand.
There definitely is.
Ability to, people do have these natural talents to retain information and understand, and the IQ thing, being able to see what the obvious solutions. Like, to me, the globe is so obvious, but I can't seem to explain it in a way that a lot of people comprehend. But so there is that talent, but a lot of this stuff, Jesse tells you something to do, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's so obvious. So a lot of this stuff is just obvious. Somebody just sometimes has to point it out to you, or you just have to slow down and pay attention and be quiet and let it catch up to you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's deep, man, because there was a call the other day, and some guy was like the voice in your head is constantly talking to you as well, along with other people on the outside talking to you. So it's like it's hard to focus on.
True. Yep.
Like when God asked Adam, "Who told you were naked?" Something that was the devil had gotten in his head and told him he was naked, and he didn't even realize that. So
that is an interesting question that he asked him. I don't know. It doesn't say that the devil got in his head and did that, but that's an interesting question to ask a guy who told you, we hid because we were naked, ashamed, and whatever. I think he said ashamed. I'm not sure. And he's like, who told you were naked? That's interesting.
Right. That's how.
And I suppose it was like the devil in the head or whatever. If you want.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is. That's what the snake is. Just the thoughts in your head that always tell you to do something stupid, and then you wonder, why did I just do that?
Yeah.
So.
Right on, man. Interesting call.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay, man. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna try to stay out the chat because it's different. It's a completely different world calling and talking to you, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
It's different. I like focusing on it.
That's partly why I encourage people, even to like. It's cool. It's helpful to participate in the chat during church because you're helping the stream. But it's actually like you're distracting yourself from the church.
Right. I missed the whole point. I have to go back and rewatch it again if I'm in the chat.
Totally.
Yeah. I can't do both. So
yeah.
That's interesting, man.
Thank you, man.
Okay. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Ryan in Illinois on the line over here. Ryan, what's up, man?
What up, Hake?
Hey.
What's going on?
Not much.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, look, I ain't got really too much to say. Just a couple things. Your last two callers are better now. What they seem like to me.
Nice.
Stay
close to your phone. You're coming in kind of hollow.
My bad. But yeah, they better males. And first of all, Derek Chauvin, he admitted to a crime in court.
Oh,
That's
did he?
why he in jail, right? He
maybe,
admitted
I don't know.
to doing wrong. So if
admitting to a crime is different from admitting to doing wrong.
But look, man, he admitted to killing that man. If he would have just went all the way and said he didn't do it, he wouldn't be in prison. Yeah, read the case, man. Y'all act like he got railroaded.
He admitted to killing him? I do act like he got railroaded.
He admitted to using force that he would. If somebody has already stopped breathing, why are you still choking him?
But he's not choking him, and he was just on him.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
That's not
if
choking,
that man stopped. Okay, listen to me, Hey.
Yeah.
If
he
I
was saying he couldn't breathe.
Your face,
let me just tell you.
No,
it sounded like he was saying he couldn't breathe even before he got all the way down on the ground. Almost said floor.
I'm not talking about him talking about he couldn't breathe.
Okay.
After the man stopped talking, and after the man stopped breathing, and there's no pulse, why are you continuing to use force on him?
That's what I don't get. I think that...
Hold on.
Okay.
Come on. And you are a police officer. It is your duty that when you realize that even if he's a suspect, you have a duty to render him aid.
What a
that
shame.
Man
That's
that
girly
man
stuff.
Wouldn't breathe it. I know. Come on, Hake, but I want all your white.
You agree?
And
you
your
know
black
that it's
callers.
girly. You agree with me that it's girly that the cops have to render aid.
All right, but you know what?
You agree with me?
Let's go by let's go by what's right, though.
But,
Hake.
I know, but do you agree with me that it's girly that he has to render aid?
That's just like me saying, do you agree with me when I say, is it wrong to rape people for great people, right? It's wrong, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's wrong.
Is it wrong? Is it wrong to make people become your slaves and you don't pay them any money? Is that wrong?
Not necessarily.
Come on, man. Is it wrong for me to go into your house while you sitting in your couch eating ice cream and shoot you with a gun, and then I say I thought it was my house? Is that wrong?
That's a mistake. It's wrong. It's not right.
You see, everything that I named, you people do. And
Whatever.
y'all act like y'all supposed to get away with it, right?
I never.
You see how
it's not me, people. I'm not a female cop, white cop.
You people. hey, man, y'all whites be acting like y'all are the best thing smoking. And y'all are the most horriblest people on this earth. Let me tell you one thing. I'm just sitting here
innocently doing my show, and you're thinking that I'm thinking something about myself.
Look, you might not be today because today you probably just taking it cool today. But later on in the show, you might get on your racist kick because you always got some racist stuff coming. So I'm not even
it's true. You know it's true. This so-called racist stuff that I say, it's the truth, brother. You know it.
You can say it's true, but I can say that it's some bad things about y'all as well, right?
Right.
So, I mean, come on now.
Of course. But you get the bad things wrong.
Anyway.
Okay.
Nah,
but no,
just
because Sharon, I don't even care about the Derek Chauvin case. I think it's ridiculous that we're still talking about
it. Forget about it. Forget about that.
Do you wish him well? Do you pray for him?
I don't wish no one to die, but you know what I'm saying? He got what's coming to him. I hope he survives. You know what I mean? I don't want the man to die because he made a mistake, right? That's what you said. We all make mistakes. So
I don't even know if he made
maybe
he made a mistake. I don't know. He might have been
yeah,
cruising for a
I think he
bruising.
made a mistake.
Okay,
I
so you think
made
it was a mistake? Just a as crimes go, it was a relatively innocent mistake. Is that what your position is?
Yeah, but you got to look at who Chauvin was. He's a piece of cop anyway. Like he has a history of being an a-hole. So yeah, he's gonna do his time. He's not gonna get free.
But
so
sometimes
all you whites and all you blacks who want that man to be free, just go kick some rocks and see how long that takes.
In a dark world like Minneapolis, it's chock full of criminals. Don't you need an a-hole cop? Sorry, kids. Don't you need a a-hole cop to like put the smack down a bit? Don't you need some rough and tumble
all right, now,
cops?
Now, let's say I say yes.
Yeah.
Don't we need somebody to put y'all crazy whites in y'all place? Right? When y'all get out of hand.
That's what the cops are for. The cops put the whites and blacks in our places.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying though.
But white people police themselves. We don't need blacks to police us.
No, you know who police y'all? I know you don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Y'all always talk so bad about the blacks, but y'all act like pussies when it comes to the Jews. You white men.
No,
y'all
they don't.
have nothing to say about the Jews.
Most whites have a lot of whites have plenty to say about Jews.
You white men sit down like little boys.
Well, I do because I know what's good for me. But there's a whole lot of whites in the chat and who call in.
So you do admit that you white people are so scared of the Jews that y'all ain't got no other race to pick on but us, right?
We better be.
Because y'all scared of the Jews,
right? No, we love the Jews.
Really
it's not fear, it's
y'all
love.
Y'all really don't got no beef with us, right? Hey, you don't got no problem with the blacks.
It's not fear,
it's love. You just don't want to say nothing to the Jews. Is that it?
I like the Jews.
Yeah, you may like the Jews, but all your callers, y'all little white boys who think that y'all are superior, you're not. The Jews run y'all. The Jews make y'all stand in line like little girls with y'all dresses up and say I'm lying.
Whoa.
I'm not lying. You know it's a fact.
So?
You too? All right, look. Now, the Jews pay us a lot of money. You know, maybe it's to destruct our own people, but at least we get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Look. Can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, real quick.
Do you think racism should be put back in like as law, like black and white water fountains and all that type of shit?
Man, you keep cussing, but it comes out your mouth so smoothly because you're black and stylish. But keep it clean for me. So,
yeah, like, do you think we should go back to that?
Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Don't you think it would be worth a try? A lot of blacks want it.
All right. So when the Jews tell y'all that they ain't gonna get no water fountain, and y'all gotta go drink and eat and sit with the blacks, what you gonna do then?
Oh,
the Jews when they tell us,
oh no, you're not gonna get
this question.
Oh, when they tell me, Hake, you're not gonna get your segregation. You gotta hang out with those guys. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna stay indoors at night. I'm not going out at night.
This is what I'm saying though. Y'all white aren't.
And I'm gonna watch out. I'm not gonna be
the Jew. Look. I believe that if the whites left, we'll be fine, long as the Jews can stay. We don't need you white people, to be honest with you, because y'all are worse off than we are. Y'all stink, smell like wet dog.
Wait a minute now. This is not what Mark from Los Angeles says, that your gals smell bad. If you're gonna go on
Mark from Los Angeles ain't never had no woman, so
you don't know that. You don't know that. You're just making up stuff now. You're getting kind of nasty. I put on Axe when I stink. I gotta run. Ryan, nice talking with you, man. Have a great weekend. All right, take care. Bye. What a mess. Whew. Okay, real quick. Ronnie in Ohio on the line here. Ronnie, thanks for calling, man. How you doing?
My brother Hake. All is well. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
The coffee that I bought earlier this week.
Punchy's coffee?
I was not. Yeah, I wasn't trolling. I'm not sure why you thought I was trolling when I was asking a question and then giving my suggestion.
I don't remember what your question or suggestion was.
So I asked. So it had to do with black fatigue.
Okay.
And I asked.
Oh yeah, when you said, "Oh, you can get on out of here if you got black fatigue."
I did not say that.
I thought you were talking about buy me. I thought you were talking about Punchy's coffee. You're talking about the buymeacoffee.com/the Hake report.
Yes. Yeah, not Punchy's coffee. My bad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you were not trolling. You were not. Was there any malice or revenge in it?
Malice or revenge? No.
No, it was not. It was not malicious when you said to anyone with black fatigue, if the USA is too black for your comfort, go to another country that's less black. Do what you want. Go somewhere else.
That was my recommendation. That's not a mandate. I don't have. Hold on. That's not a. It's not a mandate. I'm not demanding that people leave. What I was, and it was followed up with that it was preceded by a question. I asked a question. I said, if you have black fatigue and you're tired of being in a country that's too black, who's keeping you from moving somewhere else that's more white?
Do you think that's the solution?
It's a question that I'm asking.
Nobody's keeping anybody from moving to a country that is more white. But do you think that's a valid solution for somebody with black fatigue?
I think the better solution is to just drop their anger and realize black people are not their problem. Trying to blame another race of people for your problems is the sign of a weak person.
How about if we blame blacks for their problems and we're sick of them blaming us for their problems?
That's fair.
Yeah. Because I think there's a righteous fatigue, and then there is an unrighteous fatigue. I think JLP has righteous black fatigue. And then the people with anger have unrighteous black fatigue. You know what I mean?
So what does somebody with black fatigue, what should they do?
I agree with you. Drop their anger. So then they can see clearly to either, well, they most of them probably know well how to avoid problems with the problem race, as Mark calls them. Do you have any black fatigue? Do you have any fatigue of these blacks? Of always complaining and crying racism and just being ridiculous, not looking at themselves? Do you have any, do you share in the righteous or unrighteous fatigue of that type of black mentality, dark mentality?
That question is a little. It seemed like it's for the scatterbrains. I couldn't follow.
Do you share in the black fatigue in any way? Do you have it? Do you share it? Any fatigue with the blacks?
I would say no. And my reason behind that is people that quote unquote do have black fatigue and they are tired of it. Every day that they wake up, or almost every day that they wake up, they immerse themselves in that type of news. It's like the phrase, if you go looking for something, you're bound to find it. So if people spend their time looking for videos of black people acting crazy, or articles of black people acting crazy, then that's the conclusion they'll draw. But I think the world is bigger than that piece of media that people just continuously seek out day in and day out.
I no longer look for stuff. I don't even really peruse X, which is where you can find a lot of that stuff. I don't peruse even IG much. Sometimes you can find that. But there are headlines and headlines and headlines that's pushed by the mainstream media, because I do read the mainstream media. And it seems like at least once a week, maybe more, there's some type of black crying racism or crying racism on behalf of the blacks story that gets pushed out there. And there's just normal people who aren't looking for it, who've been rolling their eyes for decades, you know?
Yeah, and I guess they can either keep rolling their eyes or they can do something about it. And if they struggle with letting go of that anger, similar to the people that I pointed out, to me, the next best suggestion is for them to just go somewhere else that's less black. Yesterday, Mark mentioned white people needing a white ethno state.
Yeah.
Like Montana or something. And I'm like, I felt like Montana's always been a predominantly white state. So I don't know what changes he would need to make in order to feel comfortable moving to Montana, or feeling like Montana has the ability to deploy whatever strategy he had in mind. I've been to Montana before, and the only black person I saw was me whenever I would walk past the mirror. It was like the whitest state I've been to.
Did you ever forget that you were black?
Did I forget that? No, you can't really. That's something, especially in 21st century America, it's impossible for black people to forget that they're black.
Really?
Too many reminders in this world.
So even in your stint in Montana, you couldn't forget that you were black. There were too many reminders.
So once that was one of my Juneteenth celebrations. People ask how do you celebrate Juneteenth, and I'm like, it's supposed to be freedom. How can I celebrate my freedom? And it's like, all right, let me freely travel this beautiful country that God made.
What does that mean? There's
so one of my times celebrating Juneteenth was going to Montana.
That's fun.
Say that
That's
again.
Interesting. You went to Jackson Hole or somewhere? Is that Montana? I don't know.
No, it might be. If it is, I'm not familiar with it. But I went to Glacier National Park. Beautiful.
Nice. That's awesome. What do you mean there's reminders in America, present day, that you're black?
What I'm saying is, if I ever forgot, quote unquote, forgot that I was black, which seems like a weird concept, especially if I'm thinking about white people thinking about
this is just
forgetting that they're white.
If you're around all these other races, then you might forget that you're a different race. I grew up amongst Asians and Hispanics, for example, and I forgot until I walked by a mirror, whoa, I'm white. Because I would just get used to seeing them all the time, and I can't really see myself. I can't see my face and stuff until I walk by a mirror. I specifically remember in high school walking by a mirror, like coming into the gym or the locker room or the trophy room or whatever, and seeing myself. I'm like, whoa. And I totally forgot that I'm much more pale. I'm much more white in my features. I forgot that I was white. Mm-hmm. And I even started to talk a little bit like them, the Hispanics and the Asians. So I literally forgot that I was white. I just don't think of it. But they don't forget that I'm white. They sometimes will be like, oh, you're so white, in the different ways that I am. So that's just why granted, as an adult, you're not necessarily thinking that way. You're not around your friends all the time and classmates all the time like that. So I could understand it sounding like a weird question, but
yeah. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm not familiar with it. So,
but what do you mean reminders that you're black? What do you mean by that?
The same way that you said your friends would say things to you. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Have you ever? So there's a novel called Native Son by Richard Wright. I'm not sure if you ever read that in school or growing up.
I might have heard of it. Not sure.
Yeah, but that's if I was to ever, I mean, I know I give you Bible verses and chapters sometimes, but if I was to ever recommend a novel, it would be Native Son.
By Richard Wright.
It does a good job of pointing out the concept of whiteness and blackness, especially here in America.
Oh, okay.
So, so the same way that you said your friends might remind you that, like, hey, so white, as an adult, it may be a coworker who didn't grow up in a black environment, looks that you'll get from kids who probably have never seen a black person, which has happened frequently.
Yeah.
So that's a funny experience to see a kid that's just like, what in the world? Like, yeah, I'm not a tree. I'm an actual person.
Yeah.
But yeah, not forgetting that I'm black. That's not something that I have experienced. But getting those reminders that I'm black, yeah, I get those.
The way that you said it, I couldn't tell if you see that as sort of a negative. Reminders, get reminded that you're black in America in 2025. Is that like a negative thing?
No, I would say if a person has an issue with my skin color, that's more about them. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Like, I know that society doesn't do the best job of telling people to grow up and love themselves. They do a great job of telling people how to hate others and hate things that are different. But yeah, like I'm comfortable in my skin. So if somebody wants to, like Mark, jumping on the call and making judgments and having preconceived notions about who I am and how I think just because I'm black, that's, like I said, that's more about him, and that's a hell that he and those type of people would have to live through, and I don't waste my time or energy with it.
Well, in defense of Mark, he's not judging the blacks because they're black. He's judging the blacks based on how they all too often act.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
You don't think
because that energy is not the same when other races participate in that behavior. So if it was about the behavior, he would call out all people that display the behavior. But he only has issues with black people, and maybe it might be bigger than black people. It might be bigger than non-white. But I haven't heard him ever vocalize issues with white people displaying those same behaviors that he calls in and complains about with black people. So I disagree with you in thinking that he's focused more on the behavior and it's not so much about race. I think it's purely about race.
But they don't do it as much. It doesn't make sense that it would be purely about race. It's every racist has a moral judgment on the blacks, for example, or every racist black has a moral judgment on the whites, if you will, if you want to believe in the racism thing, you know? Like it's not based on the race. They may start to lump them all together, unfairly perhaps, but still it's based on how they act, and or how or a judgment about their reputation.
That's the part I'm talking about. When you say lump them together, that's the crime right there. That's the part where I say you cross the line. If you look at a black person, so if you look at a black person that's being evil, and you say that person is evil, you're not wrong. You're not racist for saying a black person that's evil is evil. But to say that other black people who haven't participated in that behavior don't condone that behavior, to just lump them all together, that's where you're doing something wrong. And that's where my issue is with Mark. I love when you have him on, and I love when he's able to talk, because there are people in this country that don't think people like Mark exist. And they do. There are people that literally hate black people just because they're black, and they'll use the bad apples to try to say that the whole barrel needs to be thrown away, burned, whatever the case may be.
Then why do you explain that he thinks of JLP and William and some of these other guys as honorable men, honorable Negroes, as he calls them?
Because those are exceptions to the rule, and those two people that you just mentioned, JLP and William, they would be okay with. They don't even say we when they talk about black people. They say them. Mm-hmm. They say they.
That's right.
It was funny hearing William respond to the question about what would happen if all white people left. Because I'm like, you would still be here unless he's going to get on a plane. But if all the white people leave, he's going to have to get on a plane with a black pilot. So good luck with that, William. So it's like, I wonder what he and what Jesse and Clarence Thomas and what all those other people would do if we woke up one day and all white people were gone. We still have the Constitution and we still have the infrastructure. You think that the country would just collapse with people like JLP and William from California being here?
Yeah,
that's my question to them.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, those are the exceptions. And that proves that he doesn't lump them all together. He disagrees with them based on how they act and how they think. They think in the group, and those guys think as individuals, or at least that's how they present themselves.
So you can only be an individual thinker if you're in agreement with that concept?
No, that's not what I said. I said that.
Okay, I was just making sure because I'm an independent thinker as well, and I think for myself as well. I also don't, because somebody has black skin, that they're more prone to being evil and that they're naturally criminal and this, that, and the third.
But you notice that it's based on a disagreement with the blacks. It's not based or an agreement with the exceptional blacks. It's not based on the blackness itself. It's based on the character that he judges. He judges those few as having good character, and he judges you as having a pretty honorable character, even though he disagrees with you. But he judges the blacks as being like all crazy, which I think is kind of fair and is fairly accurate. Now he may go further than I would, but I don't think that he's such a bad guy as compared to anybody else. Like Josh in Georgia said, Josh doesn't see himself or Hake as different from Mark.
And I'm on that side of the fence also. I see nearly all humans as humans. I don't see them as subhuman based on the color of their skin, and things like that. So as far as Mark and his views, I respect his views. I thank him for his service to this country. I said the only place where he crossed the line is where he starts to lump other people in with the bad apples based on the fact that they have the same skin color. And to judge a race, any race, white, black, whatever, to judge any race is wrong. So I'm still on that side of the fence as well.
But don't you catch yourself judging unjustly ever?
No. Former versions of myself, younger versions of myself, yes. I came out of that a while ago, though.
So you're never mistaken about somebody. You never misjudge somebody.
Correct. I don't misjudge people because I don't judge people.
Okay. Nice. Interesting call, Ronnie in Ohio. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you letting me get on there, and have a good weekend, brother.
You as well, man. There's one line open. I will get to more of your calls. Actually, let me get to Mark in Los Angeles, California, on the line over here. What's up, Mark? Thank you for calling.
Oh, thanks, Hake. Been sitting through some of these calls, man. I'll start out by saying I have more respect for Ronnie than JC. JC is a fraud. I know you don't want to talk about the Chauvin case, but the last thing I'll say about it, first of all, take that sucker's money, and I'll debate him anytime. Chauvin was he mentioned that when the JC mentioned that when the state fails to convict, the feds take over on a civil rights violation. That's double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you on that. I don't even think that he necessarily disagrees with you on that.
No, he's a fraud.
Don't you think that that's an interesting thing, though, that maybe the feds ended up saving Chauvin by saving him from the state by grabbing him for the federal prison?
Well, first of all, he's been stabbed 17 times.
I know, it's not good.
Federal custody.
Terrible.
This clown, JC, this demented idiot, does not care about Chauvin. He doesn't care if they kill him. Do you think he's concerned about Chauvin? He criticizes me for praying.
No, he doesn't. He does not criticize you for praying, man. He just made that very clear that he does mock the notion of praying for people. He thinks it's like a rain dance.
That's what Satan does. That's what Satan's children do.
How do you pray for him? How do you pray for him? What does that?
At the end, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
At the end of my prayers, Hail Mary and Our Father, to our white Jesus and our white God. Are you listening, Ronnie? I pray, the Hail Marys and Our Fathers, and then I'll have a special set of people that I pray for. And Derek Chauvin and Sean Grayson are high on the list.
Sean Grayson being the guy who shot the gal who had the hot water, who allegedly threw hot water at the cops, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I feel that white cops have a target on their back. And we have to support our white brothers in uniform. He didn't kill Floyd.
Right.
Floyd died of a drug overdose. I don't know how many times.
Do you think that?
I've got a state.
Do you think, just possibly, whatever, that It was the overdose plus the added stress of having to be sat on because he was resisting arrest.
Well, that's not what the death certificate says. It says fentanyl drug overdose.
Do you think that it's a reasonable thing to say it was the overdose, but it was the added stress of being sat on?
Well, the jury didn't agree, even though they were under pressure from the rioters outside. They were going to free Derek Chauvin. Now, maybe the feds would have picked up the case, but again, that would be double jeopardy. And I want to say also that my prayers for Chauvin are for his safety. I pray to God that he gets released, but if that doesn't happen, I pray for his safety. And this scumbag wants to criticize me for praying for a fellow white man. Okay?
Yeah.
JC, if you're listening, sucker, give Hake the 150, and I'll debate you anytime, you dope.
Nice.
Now let's get to Ronnie.
Okay.
Ronnie doesn't realize he's in his imagination. He's going to tell you why I hate blacks. Okay? He's in his imagination. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't dislike him. I don't hate him. But when I mentioned Montana as a white homeland, I picked Montana because it is primarily white, and it would be easy to set up. And the rules would be, Ronnie, you people don't come in. Okay, it's a whites-only state. And let's compare a whites-only state to any black-dominated state. I don't know what state has the most Negroes, but any state that has a large number of blacks or any African country, Ronnie, you tell me if any of them would stand up to a white-only Montana. Any honest person would know where white people go, civilization follows. Where black people go, destruction follows. Like Jesse said, whites build, blacks destroy. And Ronnie, I'm still waiting for you to come up with a country that black people ever civilized. I don't think he's going to be able to come up with anything because he never answered.
The District of Columbia is supposedly, according to Google AI, if that's to be believed, 46% black. Mississippi, 38. Mississippi, 38% black. That was my first guess. I forgot about D.C. Louisiana, 33%. Georgia, 33%. Maryland, 32% black. Those are high.
Okay, so let's say D.C.
Yeah.
As a white American, would you feel safer in D.C. or Montana if it's whites only?
Oh, my goodness. D.C.
No,
is not safe.
that's a question that has to be asked because there's dummies out there that think we're all equal and there's no such thing as racial difference. Ronnie, skin color is the most obvious difference.
Right.
There's a difference in brain size. There's a difference in the body structure.
All right.
It's not just the color of the skin. God made that happen so we could identify who potentially want to kill us. Racism saves lives. He knows it. You know it. I know it. Most of the audience knows it. It's the black people who can't live with the truth that object to that. And if racism, if Nicole Brown Simpson, as an example, would have never dated Simpson, she'd still be alive today. If she had allowed her racial instincts to turn him down, she'd be alive today. The only reason I bring that up, that particular case, is because that had worldwide news, made worldwide news. But it happens all the time. I mean, I'm not going to go into all the crimes that I see regularly, but I challenge Ronnie to show me a crime of white violence against a black person anywhere in modern times. Don't be going back to the KKK days. No whites are virtually, I'll say virtually, no whites are the suspects in crimes against blacks with violence. The racial attacks are coming straight from the blacks against the whites. That can be backed up by the FBI. There's a black war on whites right now. I don't know why. I mean, I love you, Hake, but I wish you'd bring some of this stuff up when you get these dopes on the phone. Not calling Ronnie any names. Actually, I have more respect for him than JC or the fool in Phoenix. But he's just misled. I think he's black. What do they call it? Black centered, or he's a black nationalist. I know he'll deny it, but that doesn't mean anything. He says he looks in the mirror when he's in Montana, and he's the only. Who thinks that way? I mean, you go to a black district Look in a mirror. Oh, I'm white. I'm the only white guy. No normal person does that. Only if you're black identity central. And that's what most of the black people are today. Their central issue is race. Because they can beat the white man over the head with it. And I see it every day. Look at some of these police stops where the black females resist the cops. They got to be dragged out. It happens every day in America. And, Ronnie, 13% of you people are committing way over 50% of the crimes. And if you want to debate this, before I debate Ronnie, I want him to come up with a country that the black people civilized in world history. He won't be able to do it unless he lies like the dopey guy from Baltimore about India and Egypt. That's ridiculous.
I got to keep it moving, Mark. I appreciate it, man.
That's all I got for you. God bless you, Hake.
Thank you.
And I hope to talk to you again soon. Have a good weekend.
All right. Yeah, you as well. Hang tight, callers. There's one line open. I need to get to some of your super chats. Someone said with 3 coffees, hey, telling it like it is. Not how it could be or how it used to be, says someone. That's kind. Coffees. Thank you, someone. And someone else, another someone, probably not the same. Hi, if you racist white people want black people, capital B, lowercase w, to go back to Africa, then give back every invention by African Americans, including the ideas. Come up with your own. For the CJ versus Mark debate, James, please allow this to happen, and I vote that the loser can never call back in Battle of the Clan. When William calls in, I just turn the show off. He's not even entertaining. Wow, shots fired. I wish you'd invite him to take a break. Jeff in Louisiana, it's not you talking fast that's the problem. Yeah, it is. It's when he slowed down, I could understand him much more clearly. But literally the only time we can understand your words is when you use profanity and disrespect. Hake. You've done it since your first call. Hayden is dangerous. He also thinks he's clever. He will turn on you too. The neo-Nazi being so young, he's not a neo-Nazi. And ignorant is sad. Thankfully, his kind tends to phase out, so hashtag patience. Hake, you have a responsibility to call out wrong, but you advocate for it. You're not a good person, and neither are most of your callers and supporters. The Lord is not pleased. Dislike the video. Shout out. Says our 3 coffees. Sup, Hake? Regarding who/what killed Floyd, according to Grok, research suggests that a blood concentration of 11 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl, per blood, I guess, has been associated with fatal overdoses, especially with other substances involved. Regarding me working in St. Louis, 2 days ago, I seen, he's Latino, I seen a police foot chase for the first time in person, and I was in the suburbs, laughing face with tears coming out both sides, both eyes. Wow. Man, oh man, Cesar. And today, black guy crosses the street while a car approaching full of ego. The car comes close to hitting him since he was trying to scare the black crossing the street. The black on the street slaps the hood of the car in anger, and then the car does a U-turn to confront the black guy, gets the race of the guy in the car. I would guess black. By the way, I quickly drove away after seeing the U-turn, laughing with sweat coming down. I don't blame you, Cesar. Yeah, I remember a Mexican friend, a white Hispanic friend of my older siblings, recounting a story where this Mexican dude, a fellow Mexican, walking all slow down the street, kind of mad dogging the person, whereas usually if he's in, this is a nice Mexican who's telling me this story, when he's in the street in the crosswalk and there's cars that were waiting for him, you might do a little jog there, a little, get across the street. But that one is like slow, mad dogging him. So then my Mexican friend being Mexican and slightly uncivilized in his anger, gunned it and scared the guy. This guy was sagging his pants because this was the 90s and everybody was sagging back then. It wasn't just the gays. And actually people are sagging still. And he tripped because he was sagging so low. And he was laughing about it, according to his story. He's a pretty good storyteller. Shout out. Yeah, so that's kind of funny with the Mexicans. But the blacks, that's crazy. Anyway, Cesar with another coffee. Last message, and make sure you read this last Hake. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I read them in reverse, from bottom to top, because the bottom is the earliest, top the most recent. I found time to get a haircut since I finished work early today. Interesting. Yeah, I cut my hair. I cut it a bit short this time. Whatever. Anyway, I tell the barber I'm not from St. Louis, but I'm here to help out with tornado damages. First thing he says is the government is destroying my city with this tornado. I'm thinking in my head, man, his city was already destroyed, man. Have a good weekend, everybody. Cool sunglasses emoji. Thanks, Cesar. Manuel bought 5 coffees. Ronnie, you guys make up 13% of the population, leaving 80% of the population non-black. Off the 87%, 98% of that 87% have black fatigue. So, according to Manuel, you're the minority. The country's for Americans, not victim blaming. Communists who can't understand their own kind in Africa don't even like you. Sucks to suck, he says, Manuel, with laughing face with tears. Yeah, that's true. And even the blacks are sick of the blacks. And the Asians and Latinos, they may feel sorry for them or agree with the blacks about why whites are so racist. But they know it's not like they like the blacks. Everybody's full of hate. Thank you, Manuel. 5 coffees. Appreciate that, man. Someone bought another coffee. CJ is definitely not JC. JC corrected you and has sense. CJ is unstable. What? Moving from state to state all the time, constantly changing your name. He doesn't change his name. Not knowing who you are, but we are supposed to trust your opinion. Mark is an entertaining clown, at least. I'm glad he got unbanned. How did that come about? I vote Mark will win against CJ. CJ, Cash App James if you truly want to support him. Mr. Evil is real. He gives me Rumble rants every so often. Rumble rants. David from Florida is a psychopath. Hake, what do you mean the behavior on how often we act? Please clarify. But also talk about all races. What? How can I clarify if I have to talk about all the races? That just muddies the water. I dare you to say something nice about your black callers who disagree with you. Josh is a sad person, a very tanned white man because he's not black. He denounced it. Hake, where do you find these people? The JLPs, Josh is Williams. And just so you know, if black people weren't around, you'd be unemployed. Indeed. I love the blacks. Hey, people assume you're smart because you're white, but you agree with people like Mark, Hayden, CJ. Yeah. Imagine. I agree with people as diverse in mindset and as disagreeing with each other as Mark and CJ. That makes me big-brained. Not big-brained, but smart. I mean, it doesn't make me smart. It's just I think it's a sign of intelligence. Some people in the chat would probably call it a sign of riding the fence, but I'm like Joel. I see both sides. No Joel Friday today, by the way. We have the Fallen State happening, and I'm going to have to set that up. But you disagree with Maze, Steven, JC, Ryan, etc. I agree with Maze sometimes because she says, check yourself. Check yourself. And then Steven, he calls it STV''N now. JC, Ryan's kind of funny. I don't totally disagree with Ryan. He's just vulgar. Just shows your integrity and intelligence. Thank you, man. For Ronnie, the black community and Hake's Bond community are all wondering what side you land on. This is your one reassurance that we as black people want you to know you're not alone. But you tend also to choose Hake's side and play the fence. Ronnie, don't be a William, be a Frederick. A Rika? Nobody wants to be Rika except for Rika. Let Rika be Rika. Nobody else. Frederick. Haven't heard from him in a bit. But Frederick is not even Frederick. He thinks he's a pharaoh. If you think you're a pharaoh, you're not Frederick. You're not yourself. But anyway, sometimes on both sides, we can't tell the difference. Am I wrong, Hake? And go see a movie. Take a break from hate. Good riddance. Oh, you know what? There were more, actually. There was let me read them on Rumble, from Rumble, these Rumble crew things. These are other other super chats, Rumble Rants, and I think there was a diamond. DLive, you know. Commander Kim says Floyd asked to be taken out of the cop car because he couldn't breathe due to overdosing on his dealer's fent, says Commander Kim. She says it. The cops complied and even assisted Floyd out of the car. Yeah, he went in one side of the SUV, the back of it, and out the other, as he asked. Watch the video footage, and I did recently. Yeah, society is collapsing when you ask a woman for a sandwich and she divorces you and takes 75%. Or when you ask a black for mayo and he shoots you. I know, but, you know, the guy, as Joel Friday pointed out, not in this case, but he pointed out the thing of, maybe that was upcoming episode on Punchy TV. But he made the point in his show about where the grown man smacked the girl in the face, which I disavow, on his episode yesterday, I believe it was. The grown man smacked the disrespectful girl in the face. Joel has made the point that you say something or you do something disrespectful and something unjust can come on you. And I think that's what allegedly happened with the customer getting shot and killed by the black guy Checkers employee whom he allegedly asked for mayo packets. There might have been a little bit more than just, may I please have some mayo packets? No. Please? No. Blam, blam, blam. It wasn't like that. There was some mutual disrespecting involved. But yeah, the black guy escalated like crazy based on that story, if that's true. That was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Thank you, Commander Kim. Nazulium gave a diamond. The Jew Mohel does unconventional circumcisions. Maybe I shouldn't have read this out loud, but it is a diamond. Got to read it. Thank you, Nazulium. I don't want to know. Terrible. The lines are full, everyone. But if you wouldn't mind, and even if you do mind, I would like to take this opportunity to make fun of Mike Pence a little bit. Because I like Mike Pence. I like Mike. But let's see. There we go. This is silly to me. Check this out. See if this goes.
But the truth is, I feel profoundly unworthy to be.
This is him receiving the Courage Award, the JFK Courage Award. He feels profoundly unworthy.
Be associated with this award or the Americans enshrined in President Kennedy's storied book.
That's because you are unworthy to be given a Courage Award. You was given a Courage Award for being people call him a coward. I suppose that's fair to call him a coward. Opposite day. This was early this month. He was given the Courage Award. We're at the end of the month now.
When I think of that fateful day 4 years ago.
He's talking about January 6th, 2021.
The only heroes I saw were wearing uniforms.
And they're clapping. The only heroes I saw were wearing uniforms. This feels like a Sam Hyde skit.
I will always believe, by God's grace, I did my duty that day to support the peaceful transfer of power
to Satan and his kids.
To the Constitution of the United States of America.
I found it interesting. Did you catch it? I didn't catch it this time, but he said a line.
By God's grace.
Wait.
I will always believe.
Isn't that an interesting assertion? He didn't say, I did my duty that day. No, he said, he didn't say, he said,
I will always believe,
he will always believe.
by God's grace, I did my duty that day.
Oh, okay. I finally get it. I thought that he was saying that he will always believe he did his duty that day. I'm like, you're Mike Pence. Come on. You're not even sure that you did your duty that day? You don't even seem sure of yourself. But he's saying, I will always believe it was by God's grace that he did his duty.
To support the
He's lying to himself.
peaceful transfer of power.
He's invoking God. God's grace gave. Actually, honestly, it might have been God's grace giving us Joe Biden so that Trump can come back stronger and more powerful and readier than ever. Because in 2020, he might not have been ready, actually. And actually, some of you guys think he's still not ready. You guys are like never. You guys are difficult to please.
Constitution of the United States of America.
Constitution.
The Bible says he keeps his oath even when it hurts. I know something about that.
How did you hurt, Mike Pence?
So in accepting this award, I hope
He thinks he kept his oath.
you permit me to give honor and glory to the one who gave me grace and strength to see that day through. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
It's like people are living in their own little world and having like their own little worldly fake reality here. Meanwhile, Trump is actually president again, and he's not vice president again. And Trump is actually doing stuff, actually showing courage, actually doing real things. And they're having their little living in the past thing. Terrible, huh? Oh, no. Pence. Mike Pence.
January 6th was a tragic day,
Yeah.
but it became a triumph of freedom.
What?
And history will record that our institutions held
What?
when, after law enforcement secured the Capitol, leaders in both chambers, in both political parties, reconvened the very same day and finished democracy's work under the Constitution.
What a liar, huh? How embarrassing. A liar. Freedom triumphed that day. They jailed January 6ers for mostly peacefully protesting. They hunted them down.
Secondly, we have a saying back in Indiana.
Here's where he kisses up to his wife.
And when you see a box turtle on a fence post, one thing you know for sure. He had help getting there.
Because a box turtle is a turtle, and it can't necessarily climb a whole fence post. And that's how Mike Pence seems to see himself, as he doesn't belong in this high place where they've put him. He credits
So I want to share this recognition tonight
recognition to war.
with some very special people. First and foremost,
God.
my beloved wife and our former Second Lady, Karen Pence.
Karen Pence.
She's as strong as she is beautiful.
Whoa, simp.
And I've been on Team Karen for 40 years.
I don't blame you, Pence.
Caroline, I'm grateful that you mentioned that history should record that along with our daughter, Karen refused to leave the Capitol that day as well.
Oh, so brave. That means you weren't actually in any real danger, I think, Pence.
Thank you for your service to America every day of our lives together.
There she is.
I love you.
She's nodding and biting her lip. You think she despises this pathetic guy?
Above the mantle in our home since before our first successful election 25 years ago is a framed parchment Karen gave me.
He's so phony in his speech now. He's so like, he has these pauses. Reminds me of Lion Ted. Ted Cruz. I like Ted Cruz. I like this guy too, actually. But they're so phony, rehearsed politicians, and he's reading, by the way, you might notice.
Bears the words of the prophet Jeremiah and reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." God is not done with America yet.
Everybody has that dumb verse. And it's not a dumb verse, but it's dumb how it's so trendy and everybody uses it and nobody actually lives it. Everybody's using that prophet Jeremiah verse. By the way, Judeo-Christian, because the Jews like Jeremiah too, right? I think. Not Jeremiah Wright, but Jeremiah. Not the Obama black evil preacher.
I believe with all my heart, if we'll turn our hearts to him, as President Kennedy said, ask his blessing and help, make his work on earth our own, America's best days are yet to come. So help us God.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for this honor. May God bless the memory of President John F. Kennedy, and God bless you all.
Wasn't that sweet? Not. So that's phony Mike Pence doing a phone. And the reason I'm going hard on him, I never wanted to, nor did I ever go hard on Mike Pence. But the reason I'm going hard on him is because he went after my boy. You don't go after my boy and I don't say anything about it. He went after my boy Trump. He could have been quiet after he did that thing. He could have been quiet. Little lame-o Mike Pence could have been quiet, and I never would have thought anything negatively about him. I would have understood that he went with the winning team that day, 2021, actually, January 6, 2021. He went with the winning team, the establishment, because he's an establishment guy. I didn't really hold that against him. People were saying, oh, hey, Mike Pence, treason and traitor and coward. I'm like, I don't really judge him. But then he went after my boy, Trump. And now I see him as a lame-o, a phony, self-righteous guy, silly dude person. So, everybody, I do encourage you, catch the fallen state with not a coward, Phil Robertson. He's not a coward. He's gone now. Is he gone to heaven? Check this out. Oh, wait a minute. No. Wrong thing. Sorry, guys. Check this out. Let me hold on. Let me turn up the volume.
You know, I've been watching you and seeing how much you love what's right.
I don't know, Jesse. I'm looking around at America. It's a sad thing to watch.
Evil, or the lie, which is of evil, seem to be winning on every end.
There's one race on this earth, the human race.
Growing up, we knew this.
That's right.
You got it down to that order thing. Jesse, you mess with that, you end up seeing what we now have.
I agree.
And I just hope we can all come together as a nation, love God and love each other. Give me a break.
Give him a break. Shout out Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty fame. Look, there's people already in the chat. Early access. I'm a member, right? That's why. Look, there's Krabby Turtle, faithful supporter guy. Justin, welcome to the Fallen State member. So I have set it up on pilled.net/Jesse Lee Peterson, right? And I am about to set it up also on bitshoot.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson. And hopefully that we will have it all good to go here. And I'm a little distracted because I should have had my guys learn how to do this. I should have taught them how to do this. Let me get to Michael in Canada and be a touch distracted. But Michael, I'm setting this up. Go ahead. Get it off your chest.
Hey!
Hey.
What's up, man?
Not much. How about you?
I'm fine. Hey, I didn't say that to Derek, but you heard
You
that
come back to
Donald
your phone.
Trump-
You're coming in awfully quiet.
Oh, wait a two.
He's going to come
Can
in
you
all
hear me
loud.
now?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Where's my? Anyway.
Much better. Much better. Thank you.
Yeah, did you heard that Donald Trump pardoned who's that name? The guy named. He's in prison right now. He's a chief of a gang, Chicago.
Oh.
Larry
I might have heard
Hoover.
that. Say again?
Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover. I don't know if I heard that.
Yeah, but he got pardoned by Trump. I don't know if he's free because he got a lot of charges on his back. But I find that interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because
is that cool?
No,
I'm just saying it's cool because I'm not really paying that much attention. But I don't. Is it bad that he's doing these pardons? People are acting like some of these pardons are bad or whatever. What do you say?
For the man, Larry Hoover, that's bad, man.
Oh, really?
Because if you look at the guy history and crimes, and this guy destroyed a lot of people, man.
Oh.
I mean, he's the chief of a gang. I mean, he's a leader of the Chicago Disciples.
Yeah. Okay.
Once was, and I don't know if you. In the 90s, 80s, and late 70s in Chicago in the projects, it was awful, man. And he take advantage of that. And I mean, everybody got to make his money, but
yeah,
he didn't.
Why do you think he pardoned him then?
I don't know, because there's a movement, Free Larry, Free Hoover. With those big artists such as Ye.
Oh, so he's black.
Yeah, he's black.
Okay, so it might be one of those kissing up to the blacks thing, victimhood, Kim Kardashian type thing. I don't know if he's Kim Kardashian, but she advocated for. Sorry. I don't know. I think that she was advocating for some other drug dealer black woman to get out early, and she did. And interesting.
Was she the kingpin of L.A.? in
No, I don't think so.
Early 90s?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
There was a woman who was a kingpin in L.A.
A Latina or a black?
She black.
Okay.
Her son is a pro skater right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with this.
What a special life. Yeah, anyway.
Gangster Disciples, Chicago Street Gang. 6 life sentences. Huh.
And, he did a lot of things, like...
commuted the sentence, not pardoned, but commuted. 74 years old. He probably won't do that much damage, right? No? I don't know.
Man, he got connections.
Yeah.
When you're a criminal in the street... once you go to prison, that's where you become the real criminal, because you get connections, and people in the inside know a lot of people working for them in the outside, because a lot of those leaders don't make very far outside, especially the black gangs. I don't know why. When you see the Italians and the Greeks and all those races, they don't seem to go in prison much, like the mafia in New York, and those people were pretty.
They're slick.
Yeah, pretty slick. Yeah, like there was once a drug dealer in Harlem, New York, and he played black, and he got played too. So
wow.
He was going to a Mike Tyson fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I think I saw. Is that where he dressed all flashy?
Yeah, he was wearing a fur coat, which his woman told him to wear.
Oh man, never listen to the woman.
According to the story,
Yeah, right.
So, you get a lot of money. So, if you mix women with that, it might not be a good product that come out of it. But hey, I wanted to talk about Ronnie.
Okay.
He got y'all. I mean, he got y'all for real. And it started with Alex. I mean, Alex, is it that in California that asked what happened if all white people were to left America?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so it started like that. So at first, where the whites going? Okay, so that's the question. And after that, Ronnie said, if you're not happy with America, you can leave. And then everybody got mad at him.
Yeah.
But in the first place, the guy asking if all white people were to go, where are they going then? You
Don't know
what I'm saying?
Yeah. We have no place to go except for Mars, maybe. Even that, nobody wants to go to Mars. I'd rather stay in
Europe. Man.
I don't want to. I don't want to go to Montana.
Man.
I don't want to go to Europe. I like SoCal.
Yeah, I understand, man. It's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
But Hake, it's not you because you're too holy, man. You're just Jesus-like, And yeah, no, for real. I mean, I don't know anybody, at least in my life out here, that lived the way you lived, like true Christian,
That's kind.
And that's exactly what America needs, because when I hear, I love Mark. He what he said is true, but you need to go back to Christianity, because black people are not very your true problem.
That's
the
right.
true problem in America is the people you voted in, and I'll say
and
it for
that's not
Ronnie.
even really the true problem. The true problem is inside each person.
Yeah, but that's spiritual. That's
Yep.
why you get to go back to Christianity, real Christianity, and going back to make babies, man. Because even where I'm from, it's over for us white people.
Yeah.
And we are degenerate. It's crazy, man. Because and you know who the real problem? I'm not gonna say, and I'm not thinking they're superior to me. Like Jesse said, I just think that it's a problem that you need to take care of, and if you don't, you're going to be, because they all implanted those things that you live in. They got you integrate with the blacks at gunpoint. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to go back to segregation. You need to go back to, because at this point there's nothing that's going to change.
Right.
Because the hate is too much.
That's true.
You need to segregate back. You need to go back to 38 Germany, and you need to go back to chain gang. And that's the real thing, man. I mean, they hate the man, but he got it, And you got played. America got played. The world got played. And they hate Jesus. They hate Christians. They hate the way of life. They hate America, because America is the true foundation of a Christian nation. I mean, at the beginning. And you got played, man. And now
man.
you can talk about the blacks all day long if you want. That's not going to change the problem that you already got. Look at the white families, they are today. Maybe in America it's lesser then, but out here, man, we got the Christianity off of everywhere, and we're doomed, man.
Yeah.
We truly doomed, man, and it's over. I mean, and you're the last bastion. America is the last place where it can be done again. But y'all weak.
It's true,
y'all
man.
Weak.
It's brutal, but it's true.
Yeah. So become a real Nazi, just like Derek. Shout out to Derek. I love the blacks, man. So, especially
Derek
the
JLP's
black.
Nazi coon. Yep, flat Earth producer.
Bible thumping with the cooning, and I love them, man. They're not the problem, man. So stop with that. I understand.
Thank you, man.
That's the culture. That's the culture, man. And it's the same thing out here. Way before blacks and all these Hispanics come here, it was the same thing because the woman is the head of the family, and it's the same thing that is coming to y'all because all guys are feminine right now, and they are growing up with a lot of women, no real men around, and
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying?
I totally do. I appreciate the encouragement, the vote of confidence, and have a great weekend, Michael in Canada.
Yeah, y'all too, man. And Aiden, you gotta quit X, man.
Nice.
Become a real Nazi or quit X, man. I think that Maze is right, man. He never hang out with real black people like you do. You hang up. They called you and all, and you know how they are really. And I think Maze is right that Aiden never hanging out with black people that much. It's just a fear that he got. He got to overcome that, man, and live his life, do his thing, and go back to segregation, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
Have a nice weekend, Hake. Stay Jesus light.
Nice. Oh, you know what? Before I get to William, I have to read a quick super chat, couple of super chats actually from CJ. Evil is still real. Rumble rants. A couple here. Mark is so smart, he cannot even say CJ without messing it up. Yeah, he said JC. I feel like he might have done it on purpose, actually. He might actually be smarter than you're giving him credit for, because he called this one person Terry the Strange One, and he called another person Lady Lewis. So he might know that there's a JC whom you may not like being called, and he might not be like being called you. And so he may be next level troll IQ. Evil is still real. Who also says, I pray for this man's family. Man gets stabbed a dozen times. Power of Catholic prayer. That's messed up. It's messed up because it's true. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's to keep from crying for beautiful Derek Chauvin. A tender, innocent soul. Rumble rants. Thank you, CJ. Okay, and now, William and Callie. William, thanks for calling and holding, man. Go ahead.
And Call Ice. This dude made me feel like I was in an orange field in Visalia, California, Canada.
Oh yeah.
Shut up. The other one, the other two guys. Well, the question was actually originally asked. What would blacks make it if every white person left America? That was the original question.
Right.
It doesn't have to be personal and subject to one individual or another. It was the question.
Yeah, that's right.
And the answer to the question, Ronnie, is no, the blacks wouldn't make it, because they have not created a society that was successful anywhere in the world without European or Western help. That is a fact.
Yeah. That's right.
Can you name one?
No, I can't.
Okay, well, you're South Africa.
But I'm ignorant. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're not, James. You get lost in this maze of stuff that don't make no sense. It's simple. They wouldn't make it. And Ronnie's talking about these black pilots. The planes are been falling out of the sky everywhere. I don't have nothing against Ronnie at all, but I mean, he's just misinformed badly.
Yeah.
And I see young men like him all the time. They don't spend too much time with me. They know I'm not going to go for it. You might go for that. You get lost in it. It's not true.
Yeah.
There's no black country that's ever been successful. I don't have to take sides, white or black, to know that you give a pile of bricks to white people, and they've been proven
to build societies, cities, countries, and buildings. And you give a city to blacks like they did in South Africa, and you will have a pile of rubble and bricks broken.
Yeah.
So that's I don't have to side about what the real truth is. Their problem is themselves. They steal too much.
Yeah. Shout out.
No, why do you get lost with the other things? I mean, doesn't it sound more than likely that they wouldn't make it?
It's very
and
simple.
There was no land stolen in South Africa. There was none.
Yeah.
It was colonized.
That's right. And
so was America.
And finally so, rightly so. There's nothing wrong with colonization. It's good.
They did not build it up the way that the Dutch built it up.
That's right.
You know that, right?
I do know that. It was unlivable in many parts.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so without the whites, it wouldn't exist, actually. So
no.
It's ignorance. It's hatred.
You don't want to get into, stop getting into what happened 400 years ago. We were colonized here, and it's not stolen land. It's
That's right.
It's ours.
That's just communist reinterpretation of history to call it stolen land.
We're not giving this country back to the Indians.
Yeah, I know.
Be realistic. Be realistic about these things.
Shout out to the American Indians.
Right. So
William, I have to rush you off. Actually, I have to close up shop. It's good hearing from you. Thank you for talking some sense. Actually.
Oh well, thank you, and you guys have a good weekend.
You as well, man.
All right.
Take care. Okay, a few more super chats. I almost missed them over on buymeacoffee.com/the Hake Report. JC actually gave a couple of super chats. JC came out of nowhere. What, JC? Not to be confused with CJ. Same spirit. I'm kidding around. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Am I being summoned or is Mark just a dummy? Baja man. How goes it, you villain? Did you see Sinners yet? No, I haven't seen that movie. You and Mark have characters very similar to you all. Please see it. Mark and CJ hating each other is great. Two idiots. Mark is misinformed every time he calls. CJ stinks. But he didn't say stinks. He said sucks. Don't say sucks, kids. But I think Mark will win. It's not Joe, John, Ronnie, or so I think he has a chance. Anyway, I know it makes your skin crawl every time you hear my name. I call him the Little Rock It Man. So, great job, Mark. Hayden still stinks. Black lives still matter, and James, you should be canceled still. Dislike and report the video. He also says, it's nice to know I'm still being celebrated in the right way by some of your listeners. Thank you to someone in those supers. I agree with everything you said. James, did Jeff ever respond to what I said? Boom hour, call in, you female dog. He did, actually. He called in yesterday and slowed himself down. Although maybe he was responding to somebody else. James, I don't respond until people say my name. Okay, that's good to know. Anyway, gotta go prepare for Pride Month. False pride and false identity. Seriously, Chauvin is evil. Maybe. Zimmerman is evil. Maybe. Shame on you wanting them to have prayer. Shouldn't you pray even for an evil man, CJ? You and that Bond chat, but you all want me dead. What? And call me KC. I don't call you that. So to HE double toothpicks with y'all, imagine them trying to become a better Christian than they stumble upon your show. Do you really think that you're doing your duty? I hold no regrets because you all rejected my prayers, called them curses. That's demonic. That's the snake pit. That's JLP and James. And hey, bye, James. Tell Mark he doesn't want to smoke with Mr. I'm not CJ. Many, many thumbs downs. Well, thank you, man. I'm going to have to tell you guys that I have less than a minute to go. And so Stephen in Maryland, Rick in Hampton, VA, Josh in Houston, Texas, Chase in Tejas also. I shall put you on the priority list. Oops. Call next week if you can or whenever. And hopefully I'll be alive again, as I plan to be. No ending video. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Take care. Bye. Somebody tell me.